Apple made this atrocity of a product that they're calling the iPhone Pocket, and they're calling it a beautiful way to wear and carry an iPhone. Born out of a collaboration between Issey Miyake and Apple, the iPhone Pocket features a singular 3D knitted construction designed to fit any iPhone. Now, of course, people are drawing parallels to kind of the history of Apple with this collaboration. You know, there's people are talking about the fact that, you know, Steve Jobs used to wear the Issey Miyake turtlenecks that all of us know about, and the fact he had so many, and Issey Miyake was his favorite designer. We all know this. And so people have been drawing parallels to the fact that, well, this is very on brand for Apple when you think about the heritage of Apple, and then you think about the connection between Issey Miyake. And I'm like, that's definitely correct. That's definitely true. That I would expect them to create something more interesting. When I think of Issey Miyake, I think of a designer who, and obviously, unfortunately, Issey Miyake is no longer with us, but when I think of his work, I think of someone that was really innovative with the way that he used fabrics. Even Pleats Please and Issey Miyake was really innovative with the way that he did pleats with polyester. The same way Issey Miyake in the 90s was using like bamboo fabrics and pineapple leathers. All the stuff that people talk about now when people are like, oh my God, it's so innovative. People are using like pineapple leather. I'm like, Issey Miyake did that in the 90s. People are using cactus. Issey Miyake did that in the 90s. People are using bamboo. Issey Miyake did that in the 90s. So it's like, I hate it when these brands kind of, when the founder dies and they just water down all these brands and they don't do any more work. It's like, where are the people at Issey Miyake that are trying to find new fabric manipulations and stuff? Apple would have been the perfect brand to do this with, because Apple is a tech company and they have all these tech resources. So I would have thought that, you know, I just would have thought that they just would have done something way more interesting, and they would have used a more interesting fabric rather than this sort of like, you know, 3D knitted construction. Like, it's not that innovative. Like, it really isn't. So reading on, it says, Issey Miyake and Apple today unveiled the iPhone Pocket, inspired by the concept of a piece of cloth. Now, really odd once again, because a POC is what I like to call it, a piece of cloth. But a piece of cloth by Issey Miyake, the whole point of it, this is what I mean about brands just like bastardizing the heritage of their own brands, right? So the whole point of a piece of cloth, right, is it's supposed to be this line that kind of showcases like sustainability and like different fabric manipulations where you don't have so many offcuts, and showing different ways to design fabrics in that way, different ways of using fabrics, different pleating techniques. That's what like a piece of cloth is about. It's not about just making some like mass produced 3D knitted piece. It's almost like they're forcing, you know, narrative down our throats. But if you actually delve deep and like look at what are these things supposed to like represent, there's nothing a piece of cloth about this Apple product. So for them to say inspired by the concept of a piece of cloth, I personally don't see it. But reading on, its singular 3D knitted construction is designed to fit any iPhone as well as all pocketable items. Beginning Friday, November 14th, it will be available at select Apple Store locations and on apple.com in France, Greater China, Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, the UK, and the US. The iPhone Pocket features a ribbed open structure with the qualities of the original pleats by Issey Miyake. Born from the idea of creating an additional pocket, its understated design fully encloses the iPhone, expanding to fit more of a user's everyday items. And when stretched, the open textile subtly reveals its contents and allows users to peek at their iPhone display. iPhone Pocket can be worn in a variety of ways: handheld, tied onto bags, or worn directly on the body. Featuring a playful color palette, the short strap design is available in 8 colors and the long strap design in 3 colors. Now, the first thing that was crazy to me about this whole thing before we like read on was the price. The price for the long strap was £220 and for the short strap was £140. Now, for basically a glorified sock, to spend £140. Now, one second, let me actually go on the website and see how much actual Pleats Please costs, just to show you how outrageous this price is. Because I feel like the Pleats Please vest, so you're telling me that you can get a Pleats Please knitted vest for the price of 2 of those tiny ass like socks. So in what world can someone tell me that that is worth, like, that the pricing makes sense? Like, in what universe is it? And I'm talking about, and no one really, if you're being sensible, no one really pays retail for Pleats Please. Like, Pleats Please and Un Plissé always goes on sale. Like, just go on Farfetch or like Essence during the sale. You'll find loads of them. So realistically, if we're being honest, on sale, this piece would be like 300. So for almost the price of the long iPhone pocket, you can actually get a Pleats Please vest. So I just don't understand it. I feel like the people that are buying this are fashion victims, if I'm going to be very honest. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You're going to get robbed if you live in any sort of metropolitan city, like I in London, or people that live in New York or whatever. And those are the places where it's available to buy, like Italy, Japan, Singapore, South Korea, the UK, the US, France. A lot of these places, if you wear this on the street, you're going to get robbed. They might not only take your phone now, they might just take your pocket and your phone, since it's worth so much. And it's easy to sell. Because it's not traceable like a phone, or it's just a knitted piece. So I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I've seen a lot of videos online with a lot of people, wearing it and talking about, the different ways you can wear it. So let's watch some of these videos on TikTok. So you've got people wearing it crossbody, people wearing it as a necklace, you've got people wearing it as an accessory on their bags, people wearing it on their scarves, people wearing it as like on their belt loops. Yeah, the Issey Miyake Bao bag, people are wearing it that way. I've seen a lot of like the Issey Miyake heads just like wearing it. I'll take the $20 knockoff from the Bezos side. Are you talking about Pleats Please? Yeah, like I would buy my own plissé pieces. I definitely got them like 60% off, like if not more. So you can literally buy full-blown plissé Pleats Please pieces for less money than this basically glorified sock, this like sock sleeve. Are there any reviews? Not that I've seen, but I haven't actually checked. There probably are, because I know on the first day that they released, it actually sold out, which surprised me. But then again, I don't know how many of them they actually made, but they did really, really well. I'm dying at the Borat comment on the TikTok video. It is insane though. Yeah, people saying it's wearable art. People are just like forcing it. Like, there is nothing that screams wearable art like a 3D knitted piece, right? Wearable art. Like, really? My grandma could knit this wearable art in a few hours. Like, do you know how easily my grandma could knit that? Like, that's light work for my grandma. Also, Lias did a video where he reviewed it, so let's see what he has to say.
The iPhone Pocket by Issey Miyake. What the shit? Look at this. This is fab. The packaging is very Apple, minimal, but still very, very chic. What the fuck? Oh. It's kind of...
For a split second, I thought it was like an elongated G-string. That's kind of how it looked from that angle.
Pleated, like the Pleats Please line of Issey Miyake, but it's still woven.
That pleat is definitely not like Pleats Please. It's definitely not like Pleats Please. It's not.
And it's not really pleats. It looks like and reminds me of the Steve Jobs turtleneck that was actually Issey Miyake. I don't know how practical this is, because maybe people will be able to rob me.
Literally, if you watch any video of a pickpocket, how pickpockets work is they normally work in teams. So they have one person who distracts you, and then the other person comes up behind you and like dips their bag into your bag, dips their hand into your bag and slowly removes it. Or they dip their hand into your pocket. Do you know how much easier it is when you're wearing something like that? They don't even need to dip it. I could just like, the robber could just come with massive scissors and just cut your thing and grab it and run away. Like, crazy.
Maybe, oh, you can put it like this. You can put it as a necklace. And this is still like 300 euros. So, I don't know. What do we think? This is...
So what I think is it's a very stupid product, and the people that are buying it are fashion victims, honestly. It would have worked if Issey just quietly launched it without much promo and without the Apple tie-in. Yeah, I'm with you, actually. I've been thinking about this. I think that if Issey Miyake launched it as like an accessory for your Issey Miyake Bao bag, it would have hit low-key. it would have hit. But I don't think they would have charged that much, because if you think of how much Pleats Please and Un Poussé costs, they couldn't, it just wouldn't make sense in terms of like the lineup of what they sell for them to charge that much. Okay, so a crossbody, you can get a Bao crossbody bag for £330. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense for them to sell you a piece of cloth for $220 when you can get a Bao bag for $330. That doesn't make sense. So if they released it as an accessory for your bag, and it was like kind of how brands are releasing charms, and maybe if they sold it for like £80, £90, like that kind of range, I think it would have flown off the shelves and it would have been more tasteful. But I think the whole Apple thing and how much they're charging for it is kind of what makes it make less and less sense, to be honest. Yeah, $110 tops. Facts. Facts. For sure. A few street style sightings and some Fashion Week buzz would have given it the viral moment they wanted. Yeah, I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. But then I guess for them, Issey Miyake does not have that like pop culture relevance the way that Apple does, right? Because I think them collaborating with Apple, maybe they did get what they wanted, in the sense that they wanted it to touch a certain level of mainstream that it wouldn't have touched if, you know, Apple wasn't attached to it. So I think it just depends, but I just think the whole thing is just a waste of fabric. What do I think of brands charging 300 to 500 euros for a bag charm? I think it just depends what the charm is. What is the charm made out of? I think it just depends. But if it's just some random ass like plastic charm, then that's crazy. It makes sense for Apple, not gonna lie, because the Hermès watch band costs 500 plus. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think Apple in general, though, that a lot of their products, when they collaborate with luxury brands, are super expensive. It's just that in the realm of Issey Miyake, though, the pricing doesn't make sense. So me coming from a fashion perspective is just like, why would anyone buy that? Like, look at the price of it. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And also that as watch is flipping hilarious, by the way. Like, let me bring that on. I almost swore. You bring that on the screen because it's so funny. It's like people are such victims of consumerism. Like, look at this watch, right? So this Apple Watch, this is literally fashion victim 101. Like they quite literally have just as Paris on the clock, and they sell you on like anchored in style. There's no difference to the normal Apple Watches. They have like the silver chain link version, or you can get like a leather strap. They give you like a touch of Hermès leather, literally like a slither of Hermès leather, and that's like it basically. So you're talking about the company with 1K caster wheels for their Mac Pro. It's part of the Apple heritage to overcharge. Yeah, it totally is. They're completely unserious. Like, I genuinely believe that these pieces that Apple is making, this is just a test on like consumerism. This is like consumerism's final boss. Like, the things people will pay just because like a luxury brand is associated and attached to it is quite fascinating, to be honest. Hot take, but Apple Watches are outrageously priced and aren't useful at all. They're impossible to repair. Yeah, facts. That is facts. I think the worst consumerism thing I've bought is Gucci socks. Not gonna lie, I love them. Pink, sparkly, and knee high. Hey, so long as you love them, that's what matters. That's what matters. For the same price, a much nicer watch can be bought that will last generations if cared for. Yeah, like if you buy, because Apple Watches, especially the more expensive ones, like they can go up to like 1.5K. Last time I checked, maybe there's even one that can go up to 2K, but 1.5K, you can like spec an Apple Watch up to 1.5K. Now, if you buy vintage watches, if you're into vintage watches, you can get like a vintage Cartier for like that kind of price if you find a good deal that will last a long time. So even like the concept of like buying an Hermès, like there's so many, like, I don't even want to be like mean, but like if you buy an Hermès Apple Watch, it says a lot about the kind of person that you are, or like where your values lie, and like how much of like a consumer you are. It's like insane. So yeah, that's my verdict on the Apple products and how Apple continues to test all of us on how crazy we can go when it comes to, you know, consumerism.